in life with the Z Farmer.
Yeah.
You're back from Mexico.
We're back. It was
Welcome
a quick
back.
trip.
It was a quick trip. Most of the Mexico trips, at least that's the good thing about Mexico.
Oh, God
is
bless.
If you do lose, get out of there.
Yes, thank God. I was very grateful for that. Made it a little less painful.
But had you been to La Paz before?
No.
I love La Paz.
It's awesome. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been.
Hidden gem.
So peaceful.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like not super touristy, but like has like you feel safe. Like it was awesome.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
And because you never would have played the Norseca then, because the Norseca is bonkers.
Really?
And it looked like the crowd was good.
Yeah.
When I was commentating.
Yeah.
Norseca crowd, you have to take pictures, sign autographs for 30, 45 minutes after you play. And this is just a pool play match in a Norseca.
Really? What is with the Mexicans? Just loving their volley.
They love beach volleyball.
I love that.
It's
Go
so
my
cool.
people.
We had a fun Mexican experience last year.
We did.
Aguas.
Yeah. That was different though.
Yeah. Different vibe.
Very
for sure.
cool though.
Yeah.
The event.
Super unique.
Yes.
To play at a carnival.
Yes, to play in a rodeo arena.
Yeah. Yeah, but when they had La Paz on there as an event, as a challenge, I told Tri, I was like, you have to go. Like, you guys can't play Miami.
Yeah.
You have to go while you have the chance. Unfortunately, he also had a very quick trip.
Yeah. Didn't do me like the best, but I don't know. The place itself was like beautiful. Jess and I, like, luckily were on this, like, we were both really bummed. It was like a heartbreaking loss, but that night we were just like, we're sitting on the beach and it's stunning out. It was like kind of hard to be upset.
Yeah.
So I felt like we both were like, okay, we had the next day and we're like, let's just like enjoy it. And we did. And it was so nice. So that's like when you're like, I love my sport.
Yeah. That is, I think beach volleyball wins. Beach volleyball maybe like surfing and golf.
Yeah.
Where you lose and you're like on the verge of like being really angry and also really wanting to cry. And then you're like, oh, I'm where people go on vacation.
Literally. That was me the whole time. I was having this like, I'm like, I can't be upset right now. Like you can't be mad because look at this.
Yeah.
Like, imagine trying to explain to somebody, like, yeah, I had the worst time on the beach in Mexico. Like, it just, like, doesn't work. Like, you got to, like, just suck it up and enjoy it.
Just suck it up and enjoy the most beautiful locations in the world.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough life we live.
It is cool. It's so tough because losing is awful. Mm-hmm. After me and Jam lost in the qualifier, a couple of people, like just readers or listeners, they asked if we could talk about it on the podcast, like what it is like to lose in a qualifier. And it is just a terrible thing to do.
Yes, I second that.
But then you have to be grateful for where you are.
Right.
It's like if I have a bad day in an office, still in an office.
Right.
If I have a bad day in beach volleyball, I'm complaining about South Beach, Miami.
Right. It is like kind of a like internal conflict. Like I feel like every time. And I think like the more I play, it doesn't get any easier, but you have like a little bit more perspective as to like the highs and lows of the sport because there's just so many. Yeah. So it's like, okay, this sucks right now, but there's going to be so much other, I don't know. I felt like that was like kind of my rationale trying to convince myself that at least.
Well, I think that's a real rationale because, I mean, like a week before we played the qualifier in wherever we just were, Miami. Yeah. I won a CBVA. And it was obviously, and like, it doesn't really matter. Right. It was cool. Like, we had a really good final with Evan and Logan. Yeah. And it was like a really fun moment. And then to get that high, you also have to accept the fact that you're also going to lose in the third set sometimes as well. Yeah. And it's a balancing act.
Do you think that other sports have such high highs and such low lows?
I was thinking about that because it's such a unique sport.
Yeah, it's
a partner sport.
Yeah.
And no other sport really has that unless there's doubles tennis. But I don't know if that's really a close comparison. So you don't have a team to rally around with. To people, because I was thinking about like basketball. Right. Where if you lose, everyone's really bummed, but you're bummed together.
Yeah, the morale's got to help.
Yeah. But it's just you and your partner. And beach volleyball is such a kind of a blamey sport.
Yeah. Well, there's only two of you.
Yeah. Where your partner's probably pointing the finger and you're probably pointing it back in some way. Right. Or sometimes you just play so bad that it's on you and your partner knows it's on you.
All too well.
So it's such a unique sport.
It is.
I think the hardest sport I've ever lost in is golf.
Golf.
Because it's just you.
Yeah.
And you're stuck. Like if you're playing bad in beach volleyball, at least like you're gonna get a quicker death. if you're playing bad in golf, it actually elongates the experience.
True. Oh my God, that sucks. My mom didn't miss getting her tour card by 1 stroke. And no. I can't even fathom that.
How did it, was that at Q school? Or was that
a playoff, where there's one tournament and I don't know how exactly it works, but
oh my gosh.
Can you imagine that? That's a low.
Oh, Miss Kim.
Miss Kim, I know. Golf is so gnarly. The other question. I have 3 questions for you.
Yeah.
What is worse, being really short or really tall? I was thinking this today in the gym.
Depends what the context, though.
Just in life.
In life, I think it's got to be really tall.
Really?
I mean, how many 60-year-old 7-footers you see walking around?
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah, well.
That's a joke that Ryan Doherty used to make all the time.
Yeah.
Every practice that I had with him, because I'm just trying to live life as much as I can, because
oh my God,
I don't have a whole lot of time, Trav.
Oh my God, okay, yeah, right, good answer. Jesus Christ, I didn't even think about that. Okay, my other question is, what's worse, minor league baseball or beach volleyball? These are questions I ponder often.
So, well, you have a lot of experience in minor league baseball.
Right, me and my brother talk about it all the time.
Yeah. And I've read a lot on minor league baseball, and I think it's the worst has got to be minor league baseball.
Really? Okay, but they have a schedule. They know when they're playing, for how long, where, there's consistency in that sport at least.
There's consistency, but the barrier to entry to the highest level is way harder.
But you also have, the threshold that you could break into is,
oh, the rewards are massive.
Massive. So it's we are, doing this for, minimal, great sport, minimal rewards, Whereas, they could be making generational wealth.
Yeah. But I think that's also that carrot being dangled is almost too tempting.
Yeah.
Because that'll keep you in it for longer.
Totally.
Whereas in beach volleyball, you look at it, I'm 32 and I'm already traveling internationally, probably done with the world tour with the kid coming in a couple weeks. And the carrot's just not there for me to continue following it as a player.
Okay, that's fair. I don't know. We fight about it all the time.
Yeah, it's a debate that could go on forever. What does JJ think?
He thinks beach volleyball is worse.
Really?
Yeah. Just the partnership side of things, and he also is just really nice to me, so he could just be telling me that to make me feel better. But yeah, he thinks beach volleyball is worse because he's I know I have this amount of time off. I know that I can schedule stuff here. I know what my day looks like. I have people scheduling everything for me. I just show up.
Yeah.
He's you have to buy your flights, and there's so much more to being a professional athlete as a beach volleyball player. I feel like that, especially as a boy who's like him, maybe it's harder, especially for him to fathom doing something like that.
Do you think that the fact that we have to do all that ourselves makes us more fit to be successful at our next pursuit after beach volleyball? Because we've been travel agents, we've held ourselves accountable for everything.
Yeah.
We understand that we are working so hard for such little possible returns.
I think we'd make good employees.
I think we do too. Or the worst employees, because we're playing beach volleyball because we can't get hold of a real job. Yeah,
that too. That could be. I feel I'm I should be a travel agent. I've genuinely considered becoming a travel or working.
You'd be a good one.
Because I am become so good at it.
Yeah. I love traveling with you.
Because I send Google itineraries to everybody.
Yeah. I get there and you're oh, I found this coffee shop. As soon as I got off the Uber in Australia, you're oh, here's a coffee shop. I know that you're tired and you like coffee. Let's go get some. It's Z.
Gotta know your clientele.
You'd be a good one.
Yeah, I feel and my friends getting married. I'm bridal, bachelorette parties. I can organize it in 2 days. I got this. This is easy work for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I do think that there is a lot that we are forced to learn.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Would you say that you have an entrepreneurial spirit?
I don't know. I don't think I have a business entrepreneur. I'm not out to make money. That is unfortunately not my strength. I don't ever think about it, but I have so many ideas and I'm not thinking about monetizing them. I just want to do it for funsies.
Yeah. What are some of your ideas?
Oh my God, I have actually a whole list on my phone, but I want to like, well, one, I want to like build chicken coops and like sell them to like residential communities, like, and make them look like the home. And so like it would like kind of, and then just like give them 2 chickens and like sort of try and install like a whole regenerative system where like, okay, there's eggs and then we're going to learn how to compost, and then that compost is going to go to putting it into a garden and just kind of like teach people a little bit of that. And like, I feel like after COVID, that's like a little bit more appealing to more city folk.
Yeah.
I want to do like, you know how there's like HelloFresh?
Yes.
I want to do that like, but for kids' lunches.
And that, we need that.
Right?
Because I just saw that schools just signed a deal with like Kraft Heinz.
Oh, God.
And that Lunchables are now going to be school meals.
That's so sad.
We'll take it. We need you.
Like, and like they can just like pick it on like a Sunday, and then they get like their 2 deliveries a week of their lunches with like cute little stuff inside. I think that'd be great. Like healthy and good and like fresh, and like moms sometimes don't want to make lunch, you know, like if they have the resources, if they don't have to make it, and like they can just have like know their kids eating a healthy, good lunch that they're actually going to want to eat.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Did your mom pack you lunch?
Oh, my mom was a legit lunch packer.
So was mine.
That is like such a like flex in middle school. You know? Like, oh, what'd you get for lunch? I'm like, well, my mom. Except my mom always like did like the healthy, or like she actually made something, and like only on my birthday I was allowed a Lunchable. Okay. Like, and I wanted Lunchables and fruit roll-ups and Gushers so bad, but we were like not allowed. And so I would constantly be trading for Gushers. Gushers were my jam.
Gushers were awesome. We always had Go-Gurts. Ugh. But we would freeze the Go-Gurts. And so by the time lunch came around, it was like a yogurt slushy type thing. It was good.
What were those ice pop things called? Otter Pops. Did you ever have Otter Pops? Ugh. So good.
No, we had those like red, white, and blue popsicles.
Oh, the like Rocket Pops?
Yes, Rocket Pops.
Rocket Pops. Oh, I know all the pops. Big popsicle girl.
Big popsicle girl.
Yeah.
You're going to be a great mom one day.
Oh, thanks. It's the goal.
You're going to be a legit lunch packer.
Yeah. But like probably to a fault. My kid's going to be useless. They're going to be like, what do you mean? What's a knife? I'm like, I don't know.
Your kid's going to be helping you raise the chickens and feed the chickens and help with the garden and stuff.
Totally. Yeah. They'll be getting their hands dirty for sure, hopefully.
And me and Dee would be your first client for the chicken coop.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. And just like to like educate, like have it in your backyard. You could like, you don't need that much room.
Right.
And you can just like have a whole, like just teach your kids about where food comes from. Mm-hmm. I'm so passionate about the food system.
And kids love animals.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love it. And they can get, and if they're like taught it from a young age, like it changes their whole perspective.
Yeah. You're getting me fired up. I just read a book I think you'd love, is Outdoor Kids in an Inside World. Okay. It's basically just about how can we get our kids outside, like in the garden, in the woods.
Yeah. Okay, I do need to read that.
Yeah. I'm starting to read parenting books now.
Look at you.
My reading's drastically shifted.
Wow, talk about a life stage change.
Yeah. I just read Expecting Better.
Oh my God.
Reading pregnancy books.
That's scary. That's a lot of pressure.
Isn't it? Like, I mean, there's no pressure on me. It was hilarious. We just put the crib in our room, and Delaney was like, is this okay? And it's completely on her side of the room, in a part of the room where I've literally never stepped. I was like, well, my life isn't going to change at all. Yeah. She was like, well, that's what we're trying to do, to make your life change as little as possible by adding a human.
Honestly, she's the best for that. She's going to be
born to be mom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Your life's going to be sweet.
I'm excited. We're just so... It's funny because we don't know the gender.
Right.
And it hasn't been that hard for me not to know this whole time.
Right.
And now, for whatever reason, we're like 4 weeks away, and I'm like, I got to know. Now I got to know. But we're not going to find out.
That's so hard. My parents didn't find out, and my grandpa was like, I need to know, after my brother. And so he went to the doctor and found out what it was, and he like had this little envelope, and when I was born, he brought flowers because he was the only one who knew I was a girl, and he wrote the cutest note, and I still have it. And it was like,
oh, I love that.
If you're as beautiful as your mom and your grandma, you're going to be getting a lot of flowers, but I wanted to be the first.
Oh, that's amazing.
He's a little poet. I love him so much. Yeah, but it was cool. Like, it meant so much to him that he knew.
Yeah.
And that nobody else. He's like, I got my girl coming.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it was really cool.
That's super cool.
From what I remember.
Is Micah keeping up? Does he send you flowers from Turkey?
He did send me flowers from Turkey to Miami. That was really nice. He's good. I keep him on a tight ship. So.
His Turkey team is playing awesome.
Incredible.
Me and Dee love watching his Champions League matches.
That last match was like crazy. One of the best matches I've ever seen.
And
it was so intense.
So intense with the deciding set, too, to decide who goes to the semis.
Yeah.
Whew!
Wild.
It's intense.
It's intense. It's so intense. It was like so fun to watch. I'm so excited. I'm going to like try and post something about like explaining Champions League and how it works and like.
I would love to know because I don't totally know.
Yeah.
Either. Like I don't know who's in Champions League because obviously it's across because it's a lot of teams that have commentated in the Italian league and then he's in the Turkish league and there's Polish teams.
Yeah, it's just like the best team from every league. Okay. I just looked all of this up. But it's like certain countries have different criteria for like what gets them in and then like based on the strength of the league is how many teams you get in. Okay. So like Italy gets like 3 in and then Bulgaria gets only 1.
Okay.
And then you either have to like win your cup or win your national championship.
Okay.
From the year prior.
Okay.
And so, I don't think they were expected to go this far, but it's so cool. I'm so happy.
It's fun to watch.
It's so fun.
It's especially cool because everyone considers the Italian league, they want to be the best in the world.
Right.
And I just now root against those teams. Especially, I root for Micah.
Yeah.
And I'm rooting against them because I'm like, there are pretty good teams elsewhere too.
Yeah, there are. And Micah's team is good. I really think they're good. And they're really nice boys. I really like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know a lot of the international guys, but like the boys on his team are so nice and like so level-headed and so cool and just like not like ego, just like normal dudes. And then they're like freaking beasts.
They are.
They're so good.
You spent a lot of time out there too.
Yeah, I did. Some unexpected time, but I was there.
Your passport's got some tattoos on it.
Oh my God. I just got a new one and I already have like 15 stamps. And I'm like, this is crazy. I'm blessed, little girl.
Where's the first place you would go back to? Or play a tournament?
To play?
Yeah.
Coolangatta.
Really?
I loved it there.
I did too, but it was shitting rain.
Yeah, but I don't know. Windy. It was just so like so cute and nice and.
As long as we get our Airbnb
speak English,
back.
I know that was sweet.
Travel
that was
Zana.
Good. Yeah, I just got us me and Carrie a good one in Itapema. I'm like, pretty excited about it.
Awesome. Carrie doesn't even know what she's getting into.
No, she doesn't. She's like, "Do you want to?" I'm like, "I got this." I'm like, you've probably done this a lot more than me, but I can book.
That was a sweet little spot you found us in Australia.
Yeah, it was fun. I think like the fact they speak English is like underrated.
Yeah, and English in the most delightful way.
Oh, just so pleasant.
I love listening to Australian people and New Zealand people. Kiwis are the best.
Really? I don't really know that many. But yeah, it's so, the accent is lovely.
It's fun.
Yeah, and I really liked it there. I don't know why.
I loved it too. I just loved looking at the waves all day.
And the beaches were really nice and like everything was close and clean and the people were so friendly.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And then I went to Sydney by myself after and like did like a solo girly trip and I had the best time.
After checking your bag the size of this couch.
But did we have everything we needed? Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. We had the Normatex. We had it all. But you booked a hotel or an Airbnb with Carrie. Is that kind of a crazy thing to say?
Yes.
That you booked an Airbnb with Kerri Walsh Jennings?
Yes. Every time I text her, I'm like, this is so wild. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. It's been like, I'm trying to just take the experience as like a learning experience. But there's like been a couple times where I'm like, holy crap, like this is like, I posted like little Zana would be so proud. Like little Zana would be shitting herself. Like this is crazy. Like she's just, I think when you like take a step back, she's the GOAT of this sport. And like,
it's not even close.
Yeah. And like, there's just like it may never be done what she's done. And like any bit of information I can learn from her and just like see how she operates and like see what she does on and off, and like why, just try and figure out why is she so darn good, you know, how did she become so successful? So it's like really, I don't know, it's so cool. But then also like playing on the court with her, it's been really fun. Like we just sort of, I think we both have that, like we just sort of athletic mindset. We're not trying to be like perfect, and that is like really fun and comfortable for me. So it's been really cool. I'm really excited to get to play with her in Brazil. Did
you ever play against her?
Not in a competitive tournament. I trained against her. Me and Chrissy trained against her when we were doing P1440 a lot.
It's been fun just talking to a lot of the younger female athletes. Like the first time they train against Carrie, they're like, oh my God, I'm training against Carrie. Because that kind of, it would have to have been, I would think it'd be a moment to train against her for the first time.
Oh yeah. Oh, me and Chrissy were so nervous, and like we were just like the whole time like, this is so cool. Like I don't know, we were so nervous, but it's just like cool too to like be able to kind of play at her level. Not by any means like am I, you know, as good as her or whatever, but like playing and like being alongside her, and like not just like being like, wow, it's Carrie, but like we're doing something together is like a really cool experience. And like I don't know, I have enjoyed that.
Yeah. And how did this come to be?
Travis.
It's so cool.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. She just like she reached out to me in like the end of last year, and she was trying to figure out what she's doing, and right now she's still committed to Logan, and so I'm just sort of using the opportunity to like play with her, because why wouldn't you want to play with her? And so I was sort of talking to other people, and I was like, I got this, like I can't say no to like playing with Carrie. So she's trying to figure out like, you know, her race or whatever is next for her. So I'm just like excited to be a part of it for a little bit, whatever bit I'll take.
And training's one thing, but King of the Court, you guys got to compete with her. And I know it's a kind of a funky format.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
How was King of the Court?
I really liked it. I felt like the tournament was ran really well. Like the people in charge were great. I really enjoyed that. The actual like format, I don't think it suits my strengths. Siding out every time, not my strength. Defense, love it. Strategy, love it. Hammering balls, not so much. So it was challenging for me personally, but I would like totally do it again, like because it was fun, just like a fun environment. But two, I think it's such a good opportunity to get better at something I'm not great at. So that part of it I really liked, but it was hard.
Yeah.
Like totally different, like not volleyball, and you know, like it didn't feel like a volleyball tournament.
Yeah.
Every time we're done, I'm like, that we're done, like I feel like we're just getting going, like so it's super different, but it was cool. And on the court with Carrie, I don't know, it was so easy and fun, and she's just such a competitor, and like she's really nice and like kind and super, like she takes so much ownership of what she's doing. She's not like pointing fingers or blaming, but she's also like a freaking winner and like gets fired up. And like I loved seeing like her energy and just kind of like that flip that she switches like all the goats do was really cool to witness.
Yeah. She can still block a ball.
Oh,
there's no question about that.
Yeah, I'm like, that we did not call that, but great job. Like she just has the read that is like I've never seen. So there's a few balls I'm like, oh my God, like she still got it.
She's had a few reps.
Yeah, jeez. Did say that. She said something today at practice, and she was like, oh, like, yeah, like when I played indoor 26 years ago, I'm like, I'm 26. And I'm like, holy cow, like she's been doing this a long time, like my whole life.
And hasn't lost a step.
No.
Like she's still...
like doing it at the highest level.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I cannot fathom playing this sport for like 20 plus more years.
Yeah.
Like it's so impressive.
And to play it at the level that she has, it's bonkers.
Yeah. She's really cool. It's been really cool and she's so open to learning, which is like what I've really appreciated. Just like getting to know about, she's like, she doesn't come off like, oh, I've done this, which she totally could. Yeah. She's like, so like, what can I learn? Like this is something new I'm trying, like she's so open-minded about growing, which is like, probably why she's been so successful and been really eye-opening for me because, you know, as me, I'm like, you've got everything figured out, you know? Right. And that part's been really cool.
I think that's why it's so humbling being around some of the people who are the greats in their industry, because you see that they're still learning and trying to improve and you're like, well, I haven't done anything, so maybe I should check my ego at the door.
Totally. I'm like, okay, noted. Yeah, but it's awesome. She's been great and been so kind to me. So I'm excited to just like compete and see what we can do in Brazil.
Yeah. Fun little wrinkle heading into the season.
Yeah.
And I almost fell over when I saw your entry points.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Wild. When you said, I didn't even notice it, but when you posted that, I'm like, oh my God, it's got to mean something. I'm all about the good omens.
The karmic justice.
Yeah.
And for the listeners who didn't see, I put up an Instagram story. Carrie and Zana will start in Itapema with 1440 entry points, which is unbelievable.
Wild.
It's like a Hollywood script.
Yeah. And I did that. I was part of the 1440 program. That's how I started playing pro. Obviously, it means a little something to her. It's wild.
And do you know where you're going to be? And you're in the qualifier, right? Mm-hmm. For Itapema?
Yeah.
Because I don't know where.
It'll be reshuffled, right? Because of
the points from
Mexico's. Yeah. So I have no idea.
Okay.
But I think we'll be middle lower.
Okay.
In the qualifier.
I have no idea what points get people where at this point.
Well, everybody has so many points.
Yeah. I thought I tried to get my points frozen for paternity leave. And the FIVB did respond. They're like, we actually don't have anything in the rule book. And I was actually, because a couple people, I put in the IBVPA group chat to see if there's any precedent. And a couple people messages me separately, and they're like, no, but I would have loved this for when my 3 kids were born.
Yeah.
And so
that's so interesting.
They said they can't change anything before Paris. I was like, well, that's a little late for me. I kind of need them frozen right now.
Today.
Yeah, because I'm about to lose all my finishes.
Shoot, because you played early last year.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So it was worth a go. But I was trying to get them.
That's smart.
Trying to hang on.
Yeah, I mean, it does make sense. It kind of blows my mind, other people who are, working normal jobs, how they get so little time off for a child being born.
Yeah.
That, I didn't, I'm just growing up now and learning. But I have, so many people I know are, they don't have any time off.
Yeah.
And the men have, no time off.
The men usually don't get any.
And you have a
Not
new
in the U.S.
baby.
Anyway. I know.
That's
a new
crazy.
baby and a mom that, if they had a C-section,
yeah,
might not be able to move around and take care of the kid.
It's so wild. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's funny. All these things that I've been learning about now.
I cannot imagine. I can't believe you're having a child, honestly. It's so wild.
The conversations you have just drastically change.
Imagine once it's actually here, what kind of conversations
I know.
Going to be going on.
But it's so funny. I'll just be the realms of what's too personal of a question out the door. I'm talking to some of my buddies about if they got their son circumcised or not. What shots did you get? It's so funny. And they're just this is going to be a weird question. And it's my buddy Joel, and he moved out of California to raise his kids in Tennessee. And he's like, listen, there's no weird questions with parenting.
I feel like I've heard that, but I don't know. I'm not there yet. I don't know if I'm ready.
Take your time. You got beach volleyball to play.
Yeah, we got some things to do before then.
Yeah. What made you want to play La Paz instead of Miami?
At the time that we signed up, I didn't know what I was doing in terms of international stuff, and I didn't know that I'd be playing with Carrie. So I was I kind of wanted to get some finishes. And also, once I found out about Carrie and I playing in the Brazils, I felt like if we did well, it could help our entry points. So that was kind of the thought process. There wasn't a ton of, I think probably should have thought about it more, but I don't know. Jess made it sound like a great idea. And it was, I'm glad that we took the risk. I feel like always taking the risk is what I believe in. So yeah. I felt like it aligned with but sometimes the risks don't pan out, but gotta go with what you choose.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the gamble paid off for Sav and Tone.
Totally. Oh, my God. What a weekend.
A hell of a run. Holy cow.
cow.
And they earned it. You look at the teams that they beat. Because sometimes challengers, especially in Mexico, if the European teams don't want to travel, right, they might get a little light. But, they had to beat...
stacked tournament.
They had to beat Austria's ones in the qualifier. They had to beat Barra. They had to beat... a handful of teams. Mexico's ones are kind of scrappy.
Yeah.
They're not a gimme.
Italy, they played.
Italy, yeah.
They beat a lot of really good teams. It was a good tournament. They did really well, but they're playing really well. They're both good players.
It's crazy how fast things can change, especially in the 3 out of 4 point systems.
That was interesting talking to Carrie. Carrie and Barra were talking about how it's just so different of a sport than it was when they were playing, 8 years ago or whatever. Just like, you can play in 2 tournaments and you're in the main draw of an Elite 16.
Yeah.
Whereas like that would take years. At least that's what they were saying. I don't know fully, but they were just like, it's changed the game so much. This new 3 out of 4.
And you can disappear just as fast as you showed up, because Tri always brings up the young Chilean team who are so fun to watch. I don't know if you've watched them.
What's her names?
It's the guys, No Aravena and Vicente Drogoet. They play this like street ball style, like jump set and jump poke set, and just so like fun. So all the swagger.
Okay,
and they're really fun to watch. But they came out of the qualifier in their second event last year and made the finals of Tlaxcala.
Oh, I remember them. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And then so they jumped in, performed well enough to stay in Elite 16s kind of throughout the year, but then they had a couple bad finishes, and they were like the 20 seed in the qualifier for La Paz.
Wow. That's
so
crazy.
It can go up and down in a hurry.
It's going to change like the Olympic race too. Like if like people, have a couple bad finishes, it used to not matter, but now it's like really can affect some things.
Yeah. And as a viewer and a follower of the Olympic race, it's fun for me especially because I follow it so closely, and someone can just jump up so fast. But as a player, I can.
It's more volatile.
It's a lot more volatile.
And especially like for the girls in the States, like it's wild. It's going to be wild. It's honestly, I feel like it's a little bit sad. Like there's so many good teams that are just like, we have so many good teams.
Yeah. I'm stoked that the country quota's gone.
Yeah.
Or then, because
it would be really impossible.
Screwed. Yeah. Kristen and Taryn wouldn't have been able to play.
No.
There's no way.
We have so many good teams, which is awesome for the States, but I don't know, it's going to be tough. It's going to be heartbreaking.
It's so crazy to see, like, you're on court 3 in college.
Yeah.
Now you're, like, one of our best defenders.
I don't know about that, but, yeah, it is crazy.
You led the AVP in digs per set last year.
Thanks, Travis. I didn't actually.
You had, like, 7.4 digs per set.
It's because I don't put the ball away.
That's insane. That's so
if you keep giving free balls, you can keep digging the ball.
That's so many digs.
Yeah. Defense is so fun. I love it. I really do. If I could just play defense forever, I would.
Just a fours defender?
Yeah. Oh, my God. I would love to be a fours defender.
Bring back the 4-man tour.
Yes.
Co-ed 4-man, where you get the girl to set and hit and play defense. Guys hitting.
Sweet.
It'd be fun.
It'd be really fun. I love 4-man.
Fours is so fun.
It's so fun.
I've been playing a lot more fours recently.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, you really are becoming a dad.
I know. Just fours, just get a couple beers on the side.
The dream, honestly.
That's it. That'll have to wait for you, though. You got some bigger things to do.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Got some things that I want to do.
Well, last year was a weird one for you.
Yes.
Because, like, I think one of the most remarkable things is how well you did with literally everyone you played with. And everyone you have played with.
Thank you.
You made a semi with Chrissy. You've made a semi with Kelly Klinsky. You've made a semi with Brandie. You won a bronze medal with Toni. You won a silver medal with Allie Wheeler. You do pretty well with a variety of types of players, blockers, and personalities.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I was like, it's hard to detach from like the stress of it all, but yeah, there was a lot of good moments, and like I also played with some pretty like ridiculously good volleyball players, so they made it pretty easy. But yeah, it was a fun time. I think like going into this year, I was like, I just want one partner, please God, just one.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot, but it wasn't as hard as I think people like crack it up to. It's just volleyball.
Yeah.
Like it's like. We all want to win, and we all play. It's the same sport, so I don't know. It's not as hard, at least for me. It really wasn't challenging going from player to player, but I think it can be emotionally more exhausting than anything else.
Yeah, because then you're scrambling all the time to find not just anyone. Like you want someone who you can win with, and also that you enjoy playing with.
And just like there's something like so unsaid about a team, and just like building something and like feeling comfortable and like not tiptoeing, and like that part was like I think took a toll for me by the end of the year. Like all the way around, I was just like, woof, I'm tired.
Yeah. It was a long year. I mean, you played a lot of tournaments with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
In a lot of different countries and states.
Totally.
That can wear on you.
Yes. And a lot of just like unexpected twists and turns. So that part was like the hardest, I think. And I'm like grateful that I'm like very versatile and could pick up anybody and like that we did well. And so that part I'm like so happy and proud of myself for. But I definitely going into this year, I'm like, I really value just a team. And like, I really want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a possibility that, say you and Carrie do really well,
yeah,
that you could just be a team?
I don't know. I think right now she's committed to Logan and they're going to try that. I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I'm definitely hoping for that a little, you know, like I would love to make a run with her. But I like respect her and Logan and they're going to go for it. But I think points wise, it's going to be hard. So, you know, if I can squeeze in, I'll definitely take the opportunity.
I'm always rooting for you.
Thanks.
And I think, I mean, playing with all those different people is so hard, but I think it's the fastest way to learn how to be not just a really good player, but a really good partner. Because you went from a Lauren Fendrick personality to a Brandie Wilkerson, who like couldn't be further apart on the personality spectrum. And then you got Jess Gaffney, Allie Wheeler, like you have all these people where you've learned how to navigate so many different types of blockers, setters, what sets they want. You played left, you played right.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like so much more flexible. Like I would never consider myself a flexible human being. I'm very particular and very not flexible, very control freak, but I feel like it has forced me to become more flexible in every aspect of like my game to my off court to train. I mean, Micah was like my partner in like half my practices last year and like God bless him. But I learned to make the most of whatever situation and like try and find value in anything. And like, I go to a practice and there's people like, I want to do this. I need this. I'm like, I don't need anything anymore because like, I'm not expecting anything. And so I feel like even just like, you know, from like sleep to anxiety to like everything, I just feel like I now know that I can perform at a high level with really not very many things going planned, and that's comforting to me. Yeah. So I feel like that was like one of the biggest takeaways was like it doesn't have to be perfect and I can still find a way and like feel confident in that. So that was like a huge learning lesson last season.
And I think as far as beach volleyball goes, it's such a good lesson to have because so rarely will things go perfect.
Yeah.
Especially when you're traveling, you're on the world tour, and a flight will be late, you'll miss a connection, you'll show up late, it's raining, it's windy. Like something will always go wrong. And the ability to adapt to that, I think, is one of the best intangible skills you can develop.
And I did not have that. Most definitely did not have that. And so I feel like I was forced to learn it quick, and I'm like really grateful I did.
Yeah, it's so crazy because my brothers who don't have passports, they don't get on planes hardly ever except to come see me. My older brother sees me once a year. My little brother will not get on a flight because he just doesn't want to deal with the hassle. And they can't fathom the fact that I'll buy a flight like 6 days before we're supposed to leave. And to me, that's plenty of time.
Plenty of time. I went to see Micah for 3 days. And Jess, I was training with her, and she was like, I have a wedding. I'm going to be gone for 3 days. And I'm like, all right, this seems like a great time to go visit Micah. And so I booked my flight, and I like got there, and I'm like, they called me while I was waiting for my flight. I booked it like a little over 24 hours before I left and didn't think anything of it. And they like question me, take me into a room because they're like, well, yeah, we question anybody who like books a flight 24 hours to somewhere near Syria. And I'm like, oh, like I didn't even, you know, it's just like, sense. Yeah, it was so, but that's normal to me now. And like the fact that when I'm in off season, I'm not here, I'm in Europe, and like, I'm so used to not being in a stable environment.
Yeah. It's funny. I mean, humans, I feel like we're designed to be adaptable.
Yeah.
We kind of had to be. So I feel like we're just reverting back to our natural state.
Well, I do think I thrive in chaos. I like try so hard to not, but I like really thrive in the chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yeah. It would be nice to just be like chill and like have things normal.
Yeah. I just don't think it's possible though. I was talking to Tri before you came in, and he was talking about how all the European teams are going straight from Tepic to Brazil, where they'll be for a month. We had Sam and Dan in, and they're on a 10-week road trip. And
that's
it's just,
crazy.
Like they're staying at Andy Benish's house on his couch for a couple weeks here training, and then they go to La Paz, and then they go to Tepic, and then they go to Brazil until the end of April.
It's a gnarly sport, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I remember when I was playing with Brandie last season, she was on like something like that 10-week road trip. And she's like, I'm honestly just over my clothes. Like I've worn the same clothes. And I'm like, I can't imagine. Like that sounds horrible. You have such a good point. Like she had to wear the same clothes for 10 weeks. I would freak out.
I could see you and Brandie having the best fashion conversations.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun picking out outfits and stuff.
I bet you
that
did.
Was like a bonding moment for sure.
Which I think that's what makes you one of the most fun players.
The outfits.
The outfits. It's just always, it's become a thing where
it's totally a thing.
It's like jerseys in football.
I have so many good ones coming this year.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm so
Can we get a little preview? What do we got coming out of the closet?
Nothing like crazy, but just like no like, I don't know. I want to do more dresses, more skirts. The skirts are so great and comfortable, but it's also like a heat thing. Like sometimes I get so hot in like the long sleeves and stuff.
Yeah.
But just some fun prints and styles and stuff I'm excited about.
So I just had Pavan in here yesterday.
Okay.
And she was talking about the skirts, and she goes, never in a million years would you thought, I have thought that I, Sarah Pavan, would be wearing a tennis skirt. And it was, now I never want to go back.
Yeah. They're awesome.
She was talking about how it's so comfy.
It's so comfortable.
And she was cracking me up because she goes, if you watch a women's volleyball match, every point they're just picking wedgies. She goes, I didn't have to do that once.
No, it's so comfortable and so like you don't realize until you're like doing it. And yeah, I don't know. I think they're so much more comfortable and it's fun little switch up. And I don't know, like especially if we're playing inside, like why not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How was Phoenix?
It was great. I didn't mind any of the, being indoors or anything. I thought it was really cool. Just it sort of felt like we were like professionals. Like it was like we had a locker room and like just like little things that I think a lot of people take for granted. And we were like, oh my God, like we have a shower after the game, like, and that's the one thing, man. Like we were so spoiled in college.
Yeah.
Like these college athletes, they like, I don't know. Now they have NLI deals. They're actually making money. And then they come out to the beach and I just feel real bad for them because they had it really good before. It's
so funny that it's reversed.
It's reversed. It's crazy.
I mean, there are probably high school beach teams that have more resources than professional teams.
Yeah. It's wild. It's really kind of sad, but it is, you learn to be adaptable.
That's it. You probably would have crushed the NLI thing in college.
I know. I don't know how I feel about it though. I feel like it really takes away the spirit and the value of like being a college athlete.
Yeah.
I think I get, for Tua Tagovailoa or whatever, who's like they're making the school millions of dollars, but I don't know, we're already getting a free education or, you're getting a spot on a team. Like that is so incredible. And like so many people would just kill for that. And I think that once you take away the fact that you are like a little bit indebted to the school, there's like a bit of entitlement to like, and I've heard that from coaches. So I don't know. I do think that like they're already given so many incredible resources and just like such incredible opportunities that is enough,
Yeah.
But that could just be me being jealous because they're taking away money from me.
I read a really interesting story the other day on how NLI could be sort of the death of, I mean, of course, everyone wants to exaggerate it, but of team sports and the NCAA, because now people can just circumvent donating to the school and just get it to the athletes that they want. But then, I mean, all the programs are pretty much subsidized by football. And so if people aren't donating to the athletic program, now the burden's even more on football because they're just giving it to the athletes. It's interesting. And we probably won't see how it'll change the landscape for a couple of years, but...
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but I do think that it's interesting. And I think that, and to some degree, there should be people that are benefiting from what they bring to the school. But I think for just like, no offense to beach volleyball, but for us folk, what we're getting is pretty incredible.
Yeah. It's so crazy just to see how much money is coming in for NIL.
It's
there's
crazy.
There's a LSU gymnast that's making like $2 million a year.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, what's crazy too is like the social media marketing is like blows my mind. Like Mike and I talk about it a lot. It's like, one, we have lost a little bit of like our value of like this, like we choose to play sports for a living. And like part of it is like we get this freedom to like, have a little bit more flexibility. But now everybody who works remote has the same flexibility. So it sort of takes away like some of like what makes what we do for a living so cool. And then also like, well, I have no idea what I was gonna say. I forgot. What was I talking about?
NIL, remote work, freedom.
Oh, and then
we're back.
My brain's working. Jesus me, the sauna really took it out of me. But just like we lose value as athletes because like anybody can be an influencer, and it's like we're not getting the eyes. Like they're not going to pay us just because we're an athlete. It's like, well, what's your following? What's your? Because everybody like, oh well, we'll just give it to this TikToker who will do it for like X amount of dollars and gets a bajillion views, and like we just lose a lot of value, which makes it tough, even more tough to make money.
Yeah, it just depends because there's such like a health product. I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah.
You know, untapped clean energy. Like euphorics, like these things are everywhere now, and I think the best ambassadors for those are athletes.
Totally.
And they just came out with a list of the 100 most watched TV programs or shows from 2022. 82 were football games.
Really?
And so there's still a huge space in athletics. I mean, football obviously is king.
Trav, I have a thought.
Yeah.
What about like live golf? What do we get Saudi back to beach volleyball?
Well, we had 2 events in Dubai.
Right.
We have another one in Dubai.
Why don't we like?
So they're bringing money into sport, but
we need to find it in.
The thing is that
live volleyball.
The tough part about those events is that, like, what's important to the sport is it just having another event that no one's going to go to.
Yeah.
Because in Dubai, there are no fans.
Right. You know? But like live golf, they're having events all over. It's just a Saudi backed company.
Yeah.
Like we could have them all over.
We could
start a whole tour. I'm gonna hit up the Saudis.
But I'm so curious to see how long that tour stays up for.
I know.
Because that budget, everything I've read. So there's it's called the Public Investment Fund.
Okay.
That the Saudi prince has.
Okay.
It's $66 billion for sports.
Oh, just for sports.
And I think, from what I read, that there is at least $2 billion allocated for the first 3 years of live. $2 billion. How are they going to recoup that?
Yeah.
And a lot of writers are saying that there's sports washing, trying to sports wash their image.
Right.
But I don't know. Has that ever worked? Sochi had an Olympics, but people don't think Russia's great. China had a great Olympics in 2008, and people aren't like, let's go
visit China. Yeah, it's true.
So I don't know if sports washing works. I think we just need to figure out, because we've had really wealthy companies and individuals. It doesn't get a whole lot bigger than Kingston, which is Donald's dad's company, and Bally's is massive. And so I don't think it's a shortage of money.
All right.
I think we need to have money coming in.
Yeah, no, you bring up valid points, Travis. It has been interesting talking to Carrie too about this kind of stuff, because I don't know like a ton about, the history and stuff, but just somebody who's like lived through all of these different cycles has been so fascinating to like ask her questions about that.
Yeah. Gosh, she's seen the AVP now in 3 different eras.
Yeah.
She had the Leonard Armato era, the Donald Son era, and now the Bally's era. Although maybe she'll never see what an AVP under Bally's is like. I don't know if she'll play AVP or not.
I don't know yet either, but
she's seen a lot. That's why I like having, like the St. Johns and Dodds on.
Right.
And just getting their perspective, because they've seen the sport just up and down and up and down.
And man, it's gone up and down.
Yeah.
Really up and down.
It's really interesting to see volleyball world, because they've come at it with such a different approach. Mm-hmm. I think that's sort of what 1440 was shooting for in the US, just this digital media monster.
They are doing such a good job. The VBTV app,
incredible.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's so great. I don't know, even as a player, just going on there and watching, you can watch everything, and it's
easy to
high
find.
Quality, easy to find, the good commentating.
Thanks, Z.
You're welcome. No, yeah, it's great. That gets me excited.
It's cool because they're so responsive to feedback. So I emailed the CEO, Finn Taylor, and I said, listen, every time we get a back camera angle, as a commentator and as a fan, I love it, but they're so rare. is there any way that we can get more back camera angles?
So I saw you posting about that. I didn't know what it was.
So he emails back in 5 minutes. The CEO of a massive company, because it's indoor too. It's beach. Beach huge. Is like a footnote to the monster that indoor is. Emails back in like 5 minutes and says, you know what? I think that's a great idea. Can you get me any numbers that can back up your claim that this is better? I put up an Instagram poll. Like 1,000 people responded. It was like 68% said yes, more back camera angle. La Paz is 3 weeks later, all back camera.
That's awesome.
So now instead, because they used to film it from the side, that's where you could watch the point, and then some of the replays would be from the back.
Got it.
And now it's the complete opposite. Now you're watching the play develop from the back, and you get your replays from the side.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's incredible, like, business.
Yeah. Like, so responsive
yeah.
to feedback. It was like, if this is a good idea, I need some numbers.
Good job, volleyball.
Yeah. And it's so crazy because I got so many messages from people who were watching La Paz, and we're like, this is amazing. And Pavan was there. All the players were fired up because every player and coach watches beach volleyball from the back. And I'm sure, I don't know, obviously not all fans are going to be fired up on it, but I think the majority of people, because you can see plays develop.
Totally.
Especially how creative offenses are getting, where you get like Rice-Ascoon just lining up and then faking this way and going that way. And you can't appreciate it from the side as much. Right. And from the back, you're like, oh, that's sucks for the blocker.
Yeah. Wow, she's moving quickly. The Swedish boys, they are just so fast.
Yes.
Like, so fast.
And they jump so high.
It blows my mind. Blows my mind.
I always will go back and watch, because I feel like their steps, they got to take like a 42-step approach, but it's no different.
No.
It's like still a 4-step.
And they just go so far. Yeah. I thought I was fast for like most of my life, and then I watch them and I'm like, I could never.
They're different.
They're built differently.
Yeah.
And they make it look like an indoor court.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even like go down. They just like float along the top. It's like, bonkers.
Insane.
Yeah.
And in Dubai,
awesome,
everyone said that Dubai was the deepest sand they've ever played in.
Interesting.
And then like if you go back and watch replays from that, you see tape swing, a lot of shots, and then Sweden. Going full Sweden. Just running this crazy offense is like, I don't know what you guys are doing.
It's so
but
cool.
Great job.
Yeah. You keep doing that. Yeah. Or not. For everybody else's sake.
Yeah. They're changing the game.
It's really cool.
It's fun because the guys' side just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now if you're 7 feet, good luck chasing them around. Have fun. And now it's starting to get smaller and faster and more creative.
That's so wild. Sports are so cool.
They are so cool.
So cool. I love it.
Did you add any new tools to the tool belt this offseason?
No.
No?
No.
Just refining the ones you have?
Yeah. Yeah. Get healthy, get better at some things, and just more consistent is always my goal.
Yeah.
I feel like I can do, like, wild things that are, like, not necessarily what you train, but it's, like, just doing the things that I want to do more consistently, more often. Yeah. Is really what I need to get better at.
While keeping the spectacular plays.
Yeah.
They're fun to watch.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's spectacular. I think most oftentimes I just make it look so much harder than it really needs to be.
It's like it's kind of like watching Troy. Like, how did he do that? Why did he do that?
Yeah. Actually, more importantly, why did that happen?
Why did you windmill that perfect set, Troy? I was bored.
Just fun.
You would have died. We just had Troy on, and we had like a 10-minute discussion about all of our just ADD. And then it was hilarious because someone's phone rang, and we were all like...
Squirrel.
Like, what were we talking about?
Yeah, literally me. I don't know what I got focused on earlier, but whatever I was talking about just went, whoop.
It was so funny. What's the next tournament for you then? Is it Itapema?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, we're doing both the Brazils. So won't be playing New Orleans, but yeah, I'm really excited for those.
So it's Itapema and Saquarema.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to Saquarema.
I've
only been to Brazil once, actually.
Me too.
Itapema for you?
Mm-hmm.
When did you go?
Not the year you went. I went after.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You guys got hosed.
Yeah. Okay, actually, I never blame referees, but that was like really, really sad.
Yeah.
That was like really bad. He even said it after. He's like, it was in, but you need to do the challenge. I'm like, I didn't know about the challenge.
Brutal.
I'm like, just help a girl out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal. But Toni played so well there.
She's a good blocker.
She's a really good blocker.
Yeah.
She's a good player.
She is. I hope she can stay healthy.
Yeah.
For once.
I know. Injuries are so sad, man.
Have you ever been hurt?
Yeah.
I mean, the way you play, I could see you having a lot of injuries. But...
Yeah, I tore my MCL in college. It's just like your knee. I went to kick a ball and I just like went and my whole knee like got really hot and I was like, I think I'm okay. And then I like went to move and it just like didn't work. Oh, no. But we were winning. We were playing against Cal Poly, Savvy and I, and we were winning in the second. We won the first. We lost the second, and we played the third set, and we won. And Savvy optioned every ball, and it was really cool. Savvy killed it. But nothing like crazy, but
it's so interesting playing with an injured partner.
Yeah.
Because you just enter this mode where you become the greatest volleyball player ever.
Ever, yes. Oh, who was I with? Brandie. I started cramping day one of Manhattan. I could not walk. I couldn't straighten my legs without cramping, and I was so useless, and she just took completely like control. Yeah. We didn't have any business winning that game. And we did. She played incredible.
Because when your partner's hurt, there's zero pressure on you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose the match if you play normally.
Right.
Because when we were in Atlantic City, we were playing our 5th match of the day. And it was upwards of 100 degrees for most of the day.
That's insane.
And so JM had these massive blisters that were just getting filleted by the seashells because it was really sharp.
Ugh, I don't like that word, filleted.
And we had just played a match in like the heat of the day, our 4th one, and we had like 30 minutes to turn it around and play Logan Weber and Sean Cook, who had played 2. And JM's like, dude, look at my feet. And he could barely walk. And he goes, on top of that, I'm cramping. And so I was just like, all right, well, let's forfeit this set without forfeiting. So just drink pickle juice, get your electrolytes. We'll get the cramping settled, so at least you can just deal with the blisters.
Right.
And then second set, didn't set him one time. And it was like 17-17. And then I ran out.
You ran out of juice. But that's impressive.
Those
it is
34
crazy.
points were the best 34 points I've ever played.
That's so wild. It does happen. You just like enter a different mentality. It's just like different zone.
Yeah, because you just human. Like any fear of failure is gone because you're going to lose anyway.
Isn't it crazy how crippled we are by the fear of failure?
I didn't realize how terrified I am of failing until Miami when we were down 14-12. And I was like, oh my God. I can't have this happen. It's like crippling.
It's crippling. I missed the last 3 points out of bound. We were winning 13-12 to win, and it's crippling.
My heart was breaking. I was on my way to the airport watching it, and I was like, no.
Yeah, it's like, when do I ever miss like a easy I wasn't even trying to hit it anywhere. I was just trying to put it over.
Yeah.
And you hit it because it's just crippling.
And sometimes those are the easiest ones to miss.
Yeah.
Like in golf, when you're just trying to place it.
Right.
You might as well, you just have to let it rip and just have your swing take care of it.
Yeah. And I'm always better when I'm just going for it.
Yeah. What helps you get into that zone?
Honestly, a lot of it, I loved playing with Chrissy, and I think it was because I was able to get into that zone a lot because of her energy.
Yeah.
Like I love humans, and I think that's why I struggled so much last year. But I love like the camaraderie, the energy, the eye contact. Like I like feed off that. I feed off the crowd. Like I love energy. I'm a Hooptidoodah girl. So I think that's like really what gets me going. Yeah. It's like it's not about like the meaning of the game or like any of that. It's just about like the energy, like of my partner or anything. Like it gets me going.
Can you manufacture that for yourself?
I think I've learned to a lot better, but I don't ever think that I like tip into the next like sort of phase, but I've learned to play at a high level without getting into that, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like not relying on it but I'm, does that make sense? Yeah. Like I'm not relying on everybody else to like go to this top level, but can I stay here more often on my own without relying on anybody else? And I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that with having to play with so many different people and not expecting, But yeah, partners are so important.
Super important.
It's just like, I mean, like Carrie and Misty. It's like, I don't know. There's something when you're playing and it's building something and understanding and empathy but also being able to like go at each other, whatever it is. Like everybody's different, but it's just like so, so important.
It is. And it's every partnership, like what an optimal partnership looks like is so different.
Right.
Because talking with Pavan, she said that she loves playing with Sophie because Sophie is someone who can finally match her intensity. Because Pav's a really intense person. Right. And Sophie's a really intense person. And Pavan's like, I don't need to sort of like take anything back from what I say. Like, I can just say it.
Right.
You know, I don't need to cushion
like
it
filter.
Or soften it. Yeah. She just says it. And she said it's really freeing.
Right. I can imagine.
Yeah. But then other people, like, they just want someone to laugh with.
Right.
You know?
Right. It's so different for everybody. And I think that is, like, what's so cool about the sport, too, though. It's, like, when you can find it and, like, when you can see... Like, the twins. I love watching the McNamara twins because it's, like... They've clearly got it. They've got a lot more than just partnerships. But it's like the way they move together and do what they're able to do because of their connection is like, it just shows that it goes so far beyond just like the sport and being good at skills.
And I think the emotional component is probably more important on the women's side.
Yeah.
Than the guys.
Totally.
Because you look at like, Trevor and Theo are probably my favorite example where they would just snipe at each other for the last 8 years of their professional careers, and then they're on the same team, and Theo's like, I love this guy.
Well, it is crazy. Like, this sport is so unique. Like, the breakups and the getting back to Sarah and Kelly, like, you know, there's just, all of it is so unique. Like, there's nothing like this. And it's like, now playing with so many people, it's like, I know a lot of people in the way that you do know a partner that you've played with. And I feel like I know so many people on the beach now because of in that way. And one, it's kind of scary. Like, hope that it's a relationship that you can always go back to, or, you know, you don't want to burn bridges, but it's just so unique. Like the ability to just leave somebody and then come back. Fun fact, I've never dumped anybody. I've only been dumped with all my partners.
Really?
Isn't that so interesting?
You seem proud of that.
I am. Well, I also just didn't know that. And I think that I get frustrated because people are like, oh, you don't play with, like, you know, like you don't ever have a consistent partner. I'm like, I've never chose this once. There has been situations where it's like, I'm committed to Brandie, but do you want to do this tournament? But I've never been like, it's not working. I'm going to go play with somebody else.
But it's upfront, like a one-off.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that fascinating?
That is fascinating.
And I've played with so many people.
Yeah. You have played with a lot of people.
So many.
In what, 3-4 years? Well, 2018, was that when you and Chrissy?
2019 was when Chrissy and I, and then 2020. So this
is your fourth?
Yeah, 2020 and 2021 were just like
kind of a wash.
Yeah.
So this is kind of your third year then?
Yeah, third to fifth. So somewhere in there.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Has the life of a professional beach volleyball player differed from what you'd expected at UCLA?
Oh, yeah. Every part of it is different. Really? Yeah. I think more challenging in terms of off-court stuff. I think so fun that I didn't realize. I've learned so much about what it is to, like, be a competitor and, like, try and be an elite performer, essentially. Like, and so that part has been so fun, like, to try and get better at the simplest, smallest little details. Like, I've loved that. I've loved, like, learning about, like, confidence. And, like, my brother and I are reading or have read this book called The Confident Mind. 10 out of 10 recommend. I, like, love it so much. I haven't even heard of it. Nate Zinsser, I think is his name, but he is a sports psych, and just, like, I've really struggled with a lot of, like, sports psych books because I am very realistic, and I struggle with the, like the mod, I don't know, just like the, like, fluff.
Yeah.
And he just really writes in a way that I understand. And my brother, I don't know, it could just be that my brother told me it was good, and so I believe everything he says. But anyway, like, learning about those kinds of things and, like, how to improve and try and, like, perfect, but also just be the best that you can be has been something I did not expect loving as much. I thought I would love just, like, the playing and the tournaments and, like, you know, being a but it's really just been, like, the small things that I've loved. And, like, the travel, but I don't love that as much as I've loved, like, getting gritty and, like, trying in the freaking gym. I love the gym. I didn't know I loved the gym, but, like, that's, like, my favorite part of the day. Like,
lifting? Yeah.
And, like, trying to, like, learn how to the mind-body connection and, like, firing certain muscles and, like, getting, like, making muscular gains and, like, that kind of stuff has been so fun, and would have never expected that.
It's so fun to see, like, expectation versus reality and then what you end up really enjoying.
Right. Yeah. I enjoy such different things. Don't get me wrong. There's, like, no cooler feeling in the world than playing your sport and, like, experiencing the highs and the lows. Like, I posted a photo recently, and it's like, how cool is it that I feel these emotions on a daily basis? Yeah. Like, nobody at their work is like on the ground, like, you know, like that is so cool. And I feel like that's why sports are so incredible. And it's like why I still do this and why I love it so much. So that is definitely like why, but along the way, the process, like I've loved these other parts that I didn't really think I would. Yeah. And I'm really excited to hopefully one day like get a team and like dive into like that team part of it. I think would be something I would love to explore. And like, how can we best like just find a way to, we both have the same goal. Like, how can we help each other, whatever it looks like, to get there? Yeah. Like, I think that's so cool. And I am excited for when that happens one day. Yeah.
Billy Allen, he put up a really good blog post after him and maybe, I forget who he was playing with. Maybe Ryan Doherty. Or maybe John Hyden was playing with Ryan Doherty. He was playing John Hyden in the finals at Hermosa. And I want to say they were up 14-11 in the third set of the finals at the Freeze. And they lost. And Billy was talking about how it was like one of the worst feelings ever. But he was talking to one of his friends who has like a standard office job. And he goes, it's so cool that you can feel emotions that hurt that bad. He goes, we can't. Most people can't. Yeah. Feel like they can't feel those emotions where you just fall on the knees and you're just like yelling and stoked.
Like you watch a sporting event and you see the emotions that these people are feeling. It's like, I don't know. I think I've had great perspective because I live with two girls who work 9 to 5s and like they just sit at their desk and like I get to like scream and yell and jump and like feel these and don't get me wrong, the lows suck, but like how special is that? Like, I think being human is the coolest thing in the world. And like, we get to be so human. Like we get to experience the biggest range of emotions and like truly feel what it's like to like feel. And like that I'm like addicted to.
Yeah. I've recently come on board with that because it's just, the lows are just, you have to have them with you. Like it's an inevitable part. That's the price you pay. That's the admission fee to feel the highs.
And they effing suck, but it just is, it's part of it. It's so freaking cool. I love watching like grown men too do it. Cause it's like one thing for women to be like, yeah, whatever. But like you see like a grown 400 pound linebacker or lineman, like pounding his chest with like all this, like so much radiating energy. It's like, that, like, you imagine you saw somebody like that on the street, you'd think he's a crackhead. Right. But like, it's just like, we're allowed to in this space. And it's so, that's I think why sports are so incredible.
Yeah, you see those moments, and it was really cool watching the La Paz semis last night. Me and Dee were watching, and this guy York de Groot, Dutch defender, phenomenal. Missed all of last year with a couple hernias. Oh. Like, I mean, and he's so young. Yeah. He was maybe 23.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
And I mean, he had gotten second at World Champs. They'd won Stade. Like, he was on his way. Misses the whole year. First tournament back. Wins a semi, and you could see that he was like barely holding it together. And his big blocker, Stefan Bormans, absolutely love him. And he's just like cradling him, just holding him in. And Delaney cool. was like, this is a lot of emotion for men. Yeah. It's like, and how cool is that?
How cool.
Like, you could see how important that moment was for him. First tournament back, he wins a silver medal.
That's incredible. So cool. I think that's something I like learned from my dad. Like, he doesn't hide much emotion, and like he's like, anytime you call him, he's like, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, living the dream. Like, and he just like lives so fully. Yeah. And I feel like I was taught that at such a young age, like how important it is to like really live and feel like all, you know, just feel and experience. And so I think that's like, like you said, just watching people, especially when they overcome like stuff, and it just means so much more. Like, we put in so much. It's so much more than just like, you know, hitting them. It's all this work that we've put in, this story and everything, and just all the passion that comes out, I think is the coolest thing ever.
It is. And that's why I love playing with different people too. Yeah. Because you learn so much about a person in such a short amount of time when you play a tournament with them.
Good, bad, and ugly.
Holy cow. I mean, you find out a lot about a person when it's 13-13 in the third set, and they're like, hey.
Yeah. And just like how they respond, how they like, you learn so much. And I feel like I have got dirt on so many people now. No.
Because I think it was, maybe Gandhi said, I don't know, but they said you can find out more in an hour of play about a person than 10,000 hours of conversation. And I am fully bought into that.
Yeah, because it's like, it's so raw. It's like so unfiltered. It is like, you're like, and beach volleyball especially, I feel like it's such a vulnerable sport.
It is.
Like, you are just exposed. And for women, we are exposed in multiple ways.
Yeah.
But really, like, and there's nowhere to hide. There's no, like, you know, you don't have your football helmet on. Like, it is such a vulnerable sport. And, like, there's just two of you. Like, you can't have, you know, like, it is, can't go to this person one day and this person a different day. Like, it is so vulnerable. And why, when you can, you know, go through and ride the highs and lows together, it can be, like, pretty cool, I think. I haven't done it yet, but I think.
I think so. And it just, you learn about relationship management. It's just so many skills.
Yeah.
It just teaches you a lot.
It teaches you a lot. I've learned so much since I started playing professionally. Like, I think when I was in college, I think playing both, like, you're just so busy. You're not even, like, diving into it fully. Now I just feel like every year it's like, what did you learn? Like, so much about myself, about how I deal with things, about other people, about, you know, everything. It forces you to, like, learn life lessons, which again is another beauty of sports.
Yeah. And it's cool that you're internalizing them.
Oh yeah.
And using them more and more and more.
Totally. And I feel like it helps in, like, all of my relationships. Sometimes like the opposite, you know, not always good lessons, but my relationships with everybody and myself, and it's so, like, I love anybody who's, like, pursuing a dream, because you're putting yourself out there. And it's like, I could have a friend from high school start a freaking straw company, and I'm like, I'll buy it, you know, like, because it is vulnerable to, like, put yourself out there and pursue your passion. And especially when you're the performer, like, it's us, like, it's a judgment on us, whatever we're doing. And, that takes a lot. And I think it takes a lot of courage. And so I just, like, really respect anybody who's taking that step and, like, being courageous and doing that, because it's super not easy.
It's not. I will never forget this conversation I had with a photographer in Chicago in 2018. It was the first year I'd made a couple main draws in the AVP, and I didn't make it in Chicago, and I was just sitting there up kind of on the top of the stands, and he was shooting down. And he goes, I just want to say that, you know, I loved your writing, and I love, you know, that you're chasing your dreams. And he goes, that's a really hard thing to do, because when you chase your dreams, a lot of times you're going to fall short, and that's devastating. And he said just how much courage it takes. And I ended up writing a chapter about it in a book, and I call it The Wonderful Misery of Chasing Dreams, because it can be the highest of highs and just the lowest of lows that you didn't even know you could go that low.
I think too, in your case too, like, you weren't, like, born into this or led into this. Like, you just found it, chose it, and went for it. And that is so hard to do. So kudos, because that is so hard. Like, not many people are willing to just be like, I've never done this. Like, I don't really know it, but I don't know the world, but you are now, like, the world. Like, you, like, run this place. Like, that is so cool.
It's been so fun. I think about it every day. Where I went out with Rafi today on the beach, and it was like 10:30 on a Monday, and it was windy and kind of rainy. Rafi was like, I don't want to be here. And he goes, I love being here. We're on the beach at 10:30 on a Monday that you just make it work.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just love The Alchemist, because it's, like, just all about chasing dreams, and just how stuff just works out.
Yeah.
Even when it gets really hard, when you're just doing the right things, good things happen.
What was that, the award show that just happened, and the best actor guy, he said something and I was fully sobbing, but he was just like, I, like, almost gave up on my dreams, like, and if I almost did, and my wife didn't let me, and I just won, I think it was the Oscars, and he's like, I just won an Oscar for the best actor, and he's like, I almost gave up, like, don't give up. And I was like, okay.
You're going to Itapema.
Okay, I'm not giving up.
I love that.
Yeah.
What are the big goals for you this year? Or is that kind of hard for you to set? Because you don't really know past April.
Yeah, it has been hard. I think, like, I'm not ready to, like, give up on trying to make a run for the Olympics. Like, I'm not like, okay, I'm out of the running. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be an easy thing, but I'm trying to still make myself as available as possible to do that.
Yeah.
Because given an opportunity, I would love to go for it and fight for it. So that's kind of where my overall goal is. And then, it's been hard. I wasn't expecting to have this situation with Carrie. So just going to try and make the most of it. And then after that, I don't know, it'll be a big question mark, but I'm excited.
Yeah. So we'll see after Brazil.
Yeah.
What it looks like.
Yeah.
Well, best of luck in Brazil, Z.
Thanks.
I'll be watching, commentating.
You. Oh, you will be?
Yeah.
Be nice to me.
I'll be super nice.
Thanks.
And,
You're always
for the international listeners, there's 100% bias. Sorry. I'm rooting for Zana.
Okay, in Micah's game, the announcer almost killed him. Did you listen
against
to it?
Lube?
Yes.
So I watched the match that he won against Lube.
Okay.
I watched, but I was in and out of the last one. So I don't know who's commentating.
Whoever it was is on my shot list.
I'll have to go back and listen.
If he said Zaitsev one more time, I was going to just
Zaitsev is freaking good.
Incredible.
Holy
Don't get me
cow.
wrong. He was unstoppable.
Yeah.
But then Namir would do something incredible, and I'm like, come on. Like, he'd be like, oh, well, I don't know how we got that through. I'm like, he just got a great kill. So mad.
That's how I do feel. I need to check myself a lot when I do American matches.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like, because Kelly Chang and Sarah Hughes were playing the Clingers.
Yeah.
And the Clingers, like, stunned them. Couldn't believe it. And for a lot of times, like, every time Kelly and Sarah would do something good, I was like, all right, here they go.
Yeah.
Then the Clingers would do something good, and I was like, how about that, Dory?
I listened to that one. You did good.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
And at the beginning, you, like, came on hot with, like, but you were, like, I don't know, respectful.
Yeah.
And, like, you took the information and just was like, okay, well, this actually isn't going how maybe I had expected. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I love the Clingers, too. Because
them.
We did a bunch of one-stars together. So I got to know them pretty well. They're good.
So nice.
Holy cow.
They're playing so well.
Playing really well.
Yeah.
But I feel bad because I always obviously know more about the Americans.
Right.
And I have a lot more personal experience just knowing them as people and players. And so I always feel bad when I have this like encyclopedia on Kelly and Sarah. And then I'm like, well, the Clingers, I met them in Bulgaria and wherever, and they're cool.
Yeah.
But that's all I got, really.
Right.
So.
No, you do a good job. It can't be easy. So we need to have more empathy for them.
It's super fun, but man, I get so terrified. I'll go on like, Twitter after a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah.
And people are like, I'm going to kill Tony Romo.
People are ruthless. People are just ruthless.
Man, everyone hates commentators.
Yeah, I think it is a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, so every time I get on there, I'm like, ooh, all right.
No, you do a good job. Thanks. And F the people, man. People are just mean, honestly. People are, like, starting to be mean on, like, Instagram to me, and I'm like, why? Who are you? Like, why do we care?
I've never understood that.
I've never understood it.
And what blew my mind was the immediate character assassination that came from Miles Partain when he left UCLA. And I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Like, this kid, an hour before a beach volleyball match, is reading the Bible. Like, give the kid a break.
Yeah.
He's 21.
Yeah. There's always more to the story. That's kind of what I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. And so I've never really understood the online hate. But when you come back from Brazil, you're going to have a niece or nephew to come hang out with.
I can't wait. Oh, my God. It's going to be so exciting. You're going to be such a good dad.
I hope
You're going to be so fun. He's good parents. He's going to be it. I think it's a he, but it.
I think he as well.
Yeah.
That's the main reason Dee wanted to find out. She's like, I just don't want to call her baby it.
Yeah, that's tough.
So we just call it baby.
Baby.
Yeah.
Baby's going to be a lucky baby.
Well, Z, always fun having you in here to chat.
Thank you for having me.
I guess this will not be a sponsor from you on that, huh?
No.
Forks.
Sorry.
No need to drink your forks.
You're beautiful, but this is not great.
Well, our last headline was that you were the cheekest farmer on the AVP.
Yeah.
Are you still farming?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We've got a lot going on.
I know you got the vegetable garden.
Yeah.
You still have the chickens?
I still have the chickens. Okay. But I do neglect them a little bit. I just don't have time.
Yeah. It's far.
It's really far.
Yeah.
And, like, during COVID and everything, it was a different story, But, no, my grandparents live there and take care of them. And it's still very much a dream. And my whole life goal one day is to live an entire year off my own land. So I'm learning, but
animal vegetable miracle.
Exactly. But no, not right now. We've got more things that are taking priority.
When your chicken coop business gets up and running, me and Dee
I'll
will
let
be
you know.
Your test client.
Thank you. I'll give you a discount.
Thanks. Good luck in Brazil, Z.
Thank you.
Shoots.